What's up, guys? Sorry about the background noise. I got the exhaust fan running in here. It's getting a little crowded though. 2004 F350 Super Duty V10 Super Cab. Just got this stake bed on it. Sorry, I'm shaking the camera around. Really nice day outside. Wait for it. There it is. I just got done washing this thing. But yeah, I'll give you a little walk around. Let's see how close that sucker is to the ceiling. She barely fits. Hope everybody's doing good. I want to say second week of March here. I don't even know the date because I didn't look. Door bottoms. Now these are just a touch past the old blast and prime and slick them up sort of situation. Got a little water on it from washing it, but I blasted them first, and this one I'm afraid I'm going to have to cut some out and maybe get an outer lower door skin piece for it. These lips, I think the camera should pick it up. They're heaved out 1/4 or 3/8 of an inch with rust, so they really need to go. They're clean on the ends, but for whatever reason that area right there when the door closes is kind of right here. And if you look inside the kick panel, you can see all the crud and shit. I blew all the straw and other stuff that was in there with mud. Here's the rear door. This one's just got, somebody's been in here and slicked this one before because there's still seam sealer right there, and these don't get seam sealed from the factory. This is inner panel. Oh, come on, camera focus. It's kind of dark over here. It blasted through all the way to the outer panel, but the outer panel isn't heaved out. This is heaved out a little. Come on, camera. Hold on a second. It looks like the lens is clean. Well, at any rate, this is heaved out a little, but it's pretty flat over here. So this one will be, I got a tiny wire wheel that can get all the crap out of there. It's either that or cut it apart, and really it's not far enough gone to cut apart. So I will get the wire wheel to dig that stuff out and put some phosphoric acid in there and then rinse it again. This one will be good. I'll have a little bit of work to do on the outside along the edge there. It's got a couple dents in it. There's one in the cab corner we're not going to mess with, but I'm painting the doors, so I'll fix these couple of dents that are in this door. The rest of them are in real nice shape though. And even the outside of this door, it just had some surface rust creep around it, but the inner lip is just gone. So this one's far enough gone, I'll probably do some welding on it. Let's look at the other side. This is an XL Super Duty trim level, so it had the black bumper on it and the sealed beam headlights. I don't know why it had that, or I guess I should say why my XL trim level dump truck that's an 2000 has regular component headlights in it. Whatever. Grille's not in bad shape in this one. He wants to do the same thing with this one. Same guy on the other one that I did. But wheel lip paint's flaking on it. It's really not in bad shape, so I'll just clean up those edges and prime that and blend some paint up into, whoa, didn't like that, did it? Blend some paint up into there and re-clear the whole fender. But basically this job is to clean up the front fender lips and the door bottoms and the rockers. This one, again, the ends are pretty clean, and then it's heaved out really pretty far in here. We're losing a little bit of the lip in here, and it blew through right here to the inside. This truck was not oil sprayed before. It's really not bad in the door cavity, but for whatever reason, it just rotted there. Now this back door is atrocious, and I'm not sure why. But this side, I mean, it blew right through it. I'm going to have to come up with something creative to at least section it from here to here, and maybe come up into here somehow and put another drain hole in it. There's just too much of this gone, and it actually heaved the outside and blew a hole through the door right down here. So that's a little bit of my my sponge that I washed it with, but I used like simple green or purple power degreaser on it and cleaned it all up. Where the holes go through to mount the running boards was all crusted up. This truck doesn't have boards on it, but it was crusty there, and starting to get a little crusty where this part of the rocker meets the other half of the rocker. Nothing major. Really pretty clean all in all. I mean, I can't complain about it. It's just doors are fiddly, but LKQ wants 8 hondo for a door, and to put 4 doors on this thing is worth half as much as the truck's worth. And then put paint on top of it ain't worth it. So we're gonna fix them. It's a work truck. We'll make it last. We'll make it look factory. We'll oil it up and it'll be good. So yeah, this sucker with this bed on it, it barely fits through the door. Width-wise, I have a little under 105 inches to come in this door. The problem is you can't pull straight in because there's a wall right there. So you got to hug this side and watch the mirror so that the bed doesn't hit the door. That's all been scraped up from before. I did not just do that. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and get this thing tore down. So what I'm going to focus on today, and I'll make a video of it, get the bumper off, get the headlight trim off, get the grille out, and take the fenders off. So I'll bring you back when I get set up for you. Alright, so in order to start this whole deal, we're going to take the front bumper off first. Now I'm going to show you where the fasteners are and what they are. There's 2 18mm head bolts here. On the back side there is what I call a captured nut. The nuts are welded to a bar so you don't have to hold them with a wrench. So you'll take out 2 there and 2 on the other side. And then there is a 13mm head bolt that hold the side bracket. That bolt right there. I sprayed everything down with penetrating oil prior to doing this just in case. Those use a U-nut that's in the other side of the bracket that's part of the frame. So those break pretty easy if they're crusty. This has been an Ohio truck its whole life that I'm aware of, so we're going to take that apart carefully. So I've showed you where the fasteners are. I'm going to go ahead and take the side ones off real quick, and then we'll take the front one off. That actually came out much easier than I sort of thought it would. So this shouldn't take too long. So there's the 2 side brackets. I'm going to turn that fan off. It's too loud. It's actually warmer outside than it is in here. It was like 50 in here this morning, and it's 75 outside, so bring the warm air in, right? I'm not taking that one all the way out just yet. Somebody's had that bumper off before. It's got washers on it that I don't think I've ever seen on one of these. Grab it in the middle and you should be able to walk it back and take it right off. So there's that. Okay, we're not reusing that bumper, so I'm just setting that off to the side. The next thing I'm going to take off is the grille and the headlight buckets. We'll go ahead and we'll take the headlight buckets off first. Or bezels, whatever you want to call them. This one happens to have Phillips screws in the top. There's one here and one back here. And then below it, zoom you guys back out here. Those are 5.5 millimeter for the parking lamp. So I'll go ahead and remove those fasteners and show you how to take this out. I'll just leave the camera go. Kind of out of real estate here for spots to put the camera. Some of these will actually have, instead of having a seal beam headlight and a separate marker, it'll be all one unit. This one just happens to be the separate unit style. So you could actually take the seal beams out and put the 99 to 05 style headlights in it. That should have been clipped into the fender right in here. The clip appears that it's either loose or broken. Let's see if you can see that. There you go. So there's a little nub on the back of this light that pops into that fastener, and it just wasn't tight, so it is what it is, I guess. Really nothing to unplug the lights. I'll actually twist them out of the marker lamp assembly because there's not a lot of extra wire there. It's just faster for me to do it that way. Okay, now I have the bottom screws out of the marker lamp, and it appears that it also has 2 Phillips screws at the bottom of the headlight bezel right down here. So we'll pop those 2 out. Now if you want to upgrade to the 05 composite headlight marker light assemblies that take up this hole from top to bottom like I did on that other truck, they actually, the bottoms go through these holes and the tops use these holes, so you eliminate this setup and the old style marker light. So just a FYI, you can also put the regular composite headlights in and keep that separate marker lamp look if that's what you like. I've seen on the forums they say you can't do it, and I don't think that's true. They sprayed this one with oil pretty good in the front core support. Just didn't put oil in the doors. It would have been better if they would have oiled the doors because core support isn't rotten. Oh yeah, I know why my wires are short. This had a snowplow on it before and they just clipped the wires off. That's why. Alright, there's your headlight bezel, so now that's off. I'll go ahead and do the other side off camera. You don't need to watch me do both of them. And then we'll take the grill out and I'll show you a trick to that. Alright, so if you truly wanted to change these headlights to the component style that still utilize the separate marker lamp like this has, the plugs actually go in this header panel right there. And I think you can see the hole right back there. And a clip goes on the back side. So why they say you can't use them, I don't know. They're a pain in the ass though if you got to change a bulb. So to take the grill out, Phillips screws on top, there's 4. So we'll take those off, and then there are 5 or 6 clips in the bottom. But if you pull the top screws out and lean it forward, then you can sort of see inside and see the clips. They don't always just pop right out. And if you're trying to save it, which I'm going to save this one because it's not broken, it's easier access once you get this top opened up. It's just the way I tend to do it. It's faster. And you don't risk breaking the grill as much. Or at least breaking the tabs off the back of the grill. Sometimes you can just grab them and pull them out once you get these screws out, but I found sometimes they get stuck in there. Okay, so you'll see what I mean by being able to tip this back. You can also do this from the bottom side, which I think is going to work better on this one. Now that the bumper's off, I'm going to show you where the clips are. I'll put one screw in there and I'll show you what's the deal with that. Okay. Sorry if I'm going kind of fast, I just want to get this done. It's getting toward the end of my day here, so. These are the clips that hold the grill, and if you just try and pull straight out, sometimes they come, but it's actually easier if you do this. And, oh, get you in the frame there and sort of start them on their way. Remember, we got a screw in the top, so it's hanging from that guy right there. So the grill will be off, and the next thing to come off, I'm going to take the fenders off of this. So I'll show you how to do that. This last screw out here, and then show you what's up with the grill. Really nothing to it, and if you want to do a transformation and put the newer style front end on these trucks, it really doesn't take a lot of crazy effort. So here's the deal on the grill, or the hood and the fenders. You have your support rods for this, and they also use a fender bolt, which has the other end of the ball for this gas strut. So what you really need to do is get a prop rod and have something to hold the hood up while you start pulling your bolts out. So I will get that propped up here once I find a suitable prop rod. Yeah, we'll bring you guys back in a minute. It might take me a minute to find something. Alright, so I got a board here to use as a prop rod. If these struts are in good shape, one usually will hold it, but really kind of taking your life in your own hands. Don't stick your head underneath it. I don't know if you guys can see where I'm wedging that screwdriver. Whoa. See the little metal band that's sort of around that. That's how you release those if you've never done one of these before, or any kind. I mean, they use these on trunk lids, all kinds of stuff. So you just sort of wedge that under there. Sometimes they go easily and sometimes they don't. There. Okay. Yeah, see, it really isn't enough to hold it. So we'll go ahead and put that 2x4 underneath it and just keep your head out of the way. There are 3 fasteners on the top here. The ball that I just took off. There's one there and one up in the front here that loosens the top. One there. Like you can see it out of the frame, I think. I gotta go down a little bit farther. You can sort of see it right at the tip of my finger there. This guy right here. So you have those, and then this plastic trim piece has to come off because it's got a couple push retainers into the fender. And there will also be a fastener down here that needs to be taken out. So we'll go ahead and get on this, start taking them off. I'm only going to take one of the fenders off. I'm not going to make you guys sit here and watch me take them both off. Alright, I forget, is it 13? Yeah, 13 millimeter for the ball socket. And actually, after I take the fender off, I will put this, I may put this back where it came out of and hook the hood strut back up to it so I can do the other side. You don't have to tighten it all the way down, just put it in there. So that's 13, the small ones are 8s. All the other fender bolts are 8s. Is that an 8? No, that's a 10. Thought I had an 8 millimeter out here. I'll bring you back in a second. Alright, the reason I couldn't find the 8 millimeter is because it was on my drill. A little rusty, not too bad. Alright. Jump in front of the camera here, we'll get this one. Alright, the next ones you want to get, move the camera a little bit here and see if I can try and stay out of the middle of the picture. They're going to be under that plastic trim, and there's 2 trim retainers down there. But actually, yeah, we'll take it off of there. I've never seen these trim retainers not snap before. For some reason they just get brittle. Let's see if I get lucky. I get lucky. You're probably wondering why I'm going through all the bullshit of taking these fenders off. It's just easier for me. And when they're real dirty like this one is, there's probably either rust up inside the fender lip or stuff like this that, and that's just part of the fender brace down here. It's a little crusted up, but not too terrible. But you've got, let's see if you can see it. I don't think you're going to be able to see it. I'll try and zoom in on it. I'll put my finger on it once I get down there, but I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. It's basically down here. So take that one out, and then I'll move you guys over to the side of the vehicle and show you what's next. Alright, I'll show you the next thing I do. There are trim screws that hold the inner fender liner in. 5.5 millimeter. There's one. I've already got the other 4 out. 2, 3, and 4. Okay. This one had a mud flap on it, a Ford mud flap. There's a little dingler down there. I'm not even going to mess with it. I'm going to leave it hang. And then, let's see if we can see pop those trim retainers out, pull the plastic fender liner down, 2 bolts. Make note of the spacers that are behind those bolts. That gives you your fender alignment. You can always figure it out later, but that's where we're at. So I'll undo that stuff and we'll move along. All right, fasteners are out on the bottom. You only have 2 left. One and 2. We'll pull those 2 out and slip the fender off. All right, that's all the fasteners. Basically, this is going to be a little snug behind here, so you might have to wiggle on it some. So remember, you got this on a prop rod here, so you don't want that thing to come crashing down on top of you. Sometimes you can wiggle a pry tool in there. Because of the plastic actually has a little nipple on the end of it. That's it, fender's off. And you can see why I pull these fenders off. I'll show you here in a minute, because I'm going to take it outside and scrub it up. And what did I waste doing all this? Maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes? I mean, I won't lie to you, I've taken a couple of them apart before. But that needs a little sandblast attention on this. This isn't where all the strength comes out of this fender anyway, so I'm not overly concerned about it. But there's the under lip of it, and that's all covered in oil. And I'm going to put that out on a different fender stand outside and clean it with some purple cleaner. Here's the spacers they use behind the fender. Whoa, come on, man. There's a 16th inch and an 1/8 inch spacer there that they use behind these. The other one must still be stuck to the thing, or it's on the ground. Nope, it's on the ground. Yeah, another 16th and an 1/8 inch spacer. That's the way they come from the factory, at least. That's the second or third one I pulled apart, and they all look the same. So that's how you take that off. Other side is going to be the same, and then you'll have the whole front end disassembled. Also, if you have horns that don't work, now's the time to get them. They're not very expensive, and it's just a plug and a 10mm bolt right there. Pull the whole assembly off and go to the dealership and buy yourself a set. They're not that expensive. You can buy them online too, but they're about the same price. So, all right, that's going to be it for the tear down on the front end of this truck. Like I said, the passenger side, or driver side, excuse me, is going to be the same. I'll get the fenders cleaned up, and then I'll show you my trick for taking the emblems off. Talk to you in a few. Alright, I promised I'd show you guys my little trick for taking these double-sided tape emblems off. Now these, the F350 ones have a pin that's part of the emblem that goes through a hole for alignment. So you can only go so far, but here's what I use. Piece of MIG wire, this is 023 wire. And I just happen to wrap it around a couple of nut drivers here so that I don't mess my fingers up. I also have gloves on, but we'll start around this little emblem. And just kind of saw your way through it. This one will come off easy. This is a dealer emblem, and it has some pretty cheesy double-sided tape on it. You can probably see that right there. Nothing too crazy on it. But this one, you'll know when you get to that pin, because you'll struggle a little bit. Okay, there's the pin. I'm not even so sure where we're using these fenders right now, but we're going to try and be careful with them at least. We're basically just using this wire like a little wire saw. It works a lot better on emblems that don't have a pin in the backside, like that first one that I took off. And that helps you cut most of that. And then on this style, what I like to use, you can either use a body filler spreader or I have this dude right here, just a plastic trim tool. It works good because it's got the hook for pulling belt moldings off. But you don't want to really pry too much on it because you'll distort the fender. If you distort it a little behind the emblem, I'm sure it's not the end of the world, but they use some really crazy double-sided tape behind these. This one's kind of chewed up. Let's see what else we got in the box here. This other thing you could do, if you can get it to feed through without scratching the hell out of everything, is you can take your wire. It may or may not feed. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I think that's just wadding up behind there, or it came down through the hole in the back. Came down through the hole. You can use a heat gun too, and even that sometimes doesn't do it. Well, this isn't going to be as easy as it normally is. Let's take this one off. Don't believe there's a pin on the back of that one. And by cutting it, you see that usually it comes off the back of the emblem, and you still have the wad of double-sided tape on whatever you're trying to take it off of, which is actually good. Then you don't have to fight trying to get the tape out of these to put new tape on them and get them back on the vehicle. I'll bring you back in a second. I'll go get a body filler spreader and we'll hit this F150 one here, or F350 one here in a second. All right. After a little more prying on this side, I was able to get it up high enough. I should be able to get the wire under it at this point. Other thing you can do is, if you have the fender off, go from the back side and break the plastic tabs off of it. This depends on whether you're trying to save that emblem or reuse, or get a new one and put it on the same fender. This one's really being a bear. Real close. Trick is to sort of keep it against the back of the emblem if you can, but when you've shoved a tool behind it, sometimes that tape rolls up, and that's exactly what happened with this one. When the tool's not destroyed, it will actually work pretty well. Sometimes you can get them to start to twist, but you don't want to pull too hard on them because they will break. You can see why there's such a bear to get off, but that's the easiest way I know to get them off, is what I just did. You can see the little tabs on the back. There's still a lot of tape on this, but there's a lot of tape on this fender here too. So that's how I get them off. So hope you learned something there, and catch you later.